Starting at the same place where I started on day one, basically. The southern leg of my trip. So, good morning, campers! I am leaving Rockfish Gap, starting from Rockfish Gap, heading, I think, the Blue Ridge Trail or Blue Ridge Mountain or something. Why don't we move over here so you don't get run over? These cars come out of it. Right up here, same sign. Where I started, the Rockfish Gap sign. There's the Blue Ridge. And I can see the double blaze down there, so that's where the trail must veer off somewhere. So, like Yogi Berra said, it's like deja vu all over again. Here I am. April 3rd is when I started here. And here we are, August 23rd. So 4 months and 20 days, I guess. So hopefully 9 to 10 weeks to finish the last 873 miles. Hopefully the hiking will be easier than it's been for the past 2 months. New Hampshire and Maine were pretty brutal. So I'm off and running. Okay, so I am back on the trail. Like Yogi Berra said, it's like deja vu all over again. Leaving Rockfish Gap, heading south now. And I literally just, it's 100 yards back is where my wife dropped me off. So I just thought I'd share some thoughts here as I get started on this final leg of my Appalachian Trail through hike. About 873 miles to go to get to the arch at Emma-Calola Falls. That's including what they call the approach trail. And there's a little kiosk warning about bears again. A little sign here welcoming me, saying south this way. So from what other hikers tell me, and I've been told this before, so I don't know how much stock I'm putting in it, but they tell me that the trail down here is much easier than up in New Hampshire and Maine, where it's just so rocky and rooty. So I'm hoping I can make a little better time, do a little more miles each day than I was doing without more effort or more time, just because I'll be able to hike at a slightly faster pace. I need to average 14 miles a day, and that allows for a 0 day every 10 days. If I take a 0 once a week, then I need to do about 14.5 miles a day. So my goal is, if the weather's okay and the terrain's okay and I'm feeling good, to do in the high teens, doing those 15 to 20 mile days in order to bank some miles so that I can take those shorter days when I need to. If I'm going to take a Nero, if I need to take an unexpected 0 because of a bad storm or something, I'll have those miles banked and I'll be able to stay on schedule. My goal is to finish no later than October 29th, if all goes as planned. Oh, and I also found out that a friend from high school has a cabin. I don't know if he owns it or if he rents it or what he does, but not far from Grayson Highlands. So when I get down there in about the third or fourth week of September, I might meet up with him and another high school friend for a couple days. So that might be a couple zeros there too. So I really need to bank some miles, get up in the high teens every day when I can. Today I'm getting a late start. It's 9:30, and I have no idea where I'm staying tonight. I'm just gonna get going here. It's supposed to be good weather all week. It looks pretty dicey. Last week before we left, it looked like it was going to be rainy for like 3 days in a row, but now it looks like it's pretty clear. Temps in the 80s, low to mid 80s during the day, and at night, low 60s, upper 50s. So pretty nice. And yes, I just stumbled on a rock. It's a trail, so there's going to be some rocks, but right now it's pretty easy compared to what I've been dealing with for the last 2 months. So that's it. I'm off and running, and it should be a much different experience. I'm expecting it to be much quieter as far as foot traffic goes. Not many hikers. All the northbounders are long gone from here, obviously. I'll see section hikers and day hikers, maybe an occasional lasher, but and the flip-floppers. Some of them started early, and so they've probably already flipped down to Harper's Ferry or wherever they started. Some might be ahead of me even. Some will be behind me and catching up. I might catch up to some. So that'll be interesting to see who I cross paths with again, if I know anybody, if our hiking schedules are kind of in sync. So anyway, I'm just going to plug along here. When it gets to be early afternoon, I'm going to figure out where I am and where my best option is for camping. Oh, the other thing I need to worry about is water. It's been a bit dry down here. It is, late August, but anyway. So water sources can be a little more challenging, so I have to really pay attention to where my reliable water sources are, so I can load up on water if I need to, if there's going to be a long stretch with no reliable water, or if I need to camp somewhere where there's not a water source, I need to carry my water in with me. And that's going to suck for the first few days because I've got a heavy pack right now. I've got a week's worth of food and I've got a liter of water. So today's Tuesday, so my pack will be lighter, certainly by the weekend. Friday, Saturday, it'll start to feel a little more comfortable for me. All right, so I'm off and running on this third and final leg of my Appalachian Trail through hike. So here we go. Okay, I just took a moment to check Gut Hook, see what my progress is. That's exactly 1 hour into my hike, going south. And I've covered 2.6 miles, and I haven't even been pushing myself. It's been very easy terrain, no routes to navigate at all. Rocks here and there, but nothing crazy. It's mostly dirt and crushed stone, almost like a gravel. I don't know if you can see the texture there of the trail. And mostly flat, just kind of gently undulating up and down. Rocks here and there to step on or over, but nothing like what I was subjected to up in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So let's call it 2.5 miles an hour. And it's kind of warm out. It's probably mid-80s right now. A little steamy, not terrible. It's not as bad as Maine was during that about, I don't know, it was about a 10-day stretch where it was just miserable. Maybe close to 2 weeks in Maine. Ooh, it's bad. So, only a very light sweat breaking out on me here because of the warmth and the humidity. But I'm just walking at a nice casual pace, not too fast, not too slow. It's 2.1 miles to the first shelter, the Paul Wolf shelter. So that's perfect distance for me to take my first break. That'll be 4.7 miles in. And I'll take a little longer break there because I'll consult the AWOL guide and I'll decide, what my options are for camping tonight. Give myself a couple of choices depending on how the terrain goes and how I feel. I don't want to kill myself the first day, first day out. So I may keep it shorter today, 12 to 14 mile day maybe. Also, I have to remember something that's working against me is the days are getting shorter. It'll be the fall equinox in less than a month, about 4 weeks from now. So days are getting shorter, about 3 minutes less daylight every day. So about 20 minutes a week, roughly, of daylight that I'm losing every day. So that's less time to hike, obviously. That won't become a big issue until like the last month of my hike, once I get into October, because then I'll be dealing with, a good hour and a half less of light every day. And then it'll be probably 2.5 hours less of light every day by the end of October. Something like that. It's general. I'm just rounding off here. So that's working against me. Less time during the day to hike. So I have to make better use of my daylight hours. Really get up when it's dark, probably. Get all packed up and hit the trail shortly after it's light out, just to make maximum use of the daylight. And then plan on camping somewhere about an hour before it gets, before the sun goes down, before it gets dark, and just be quick about setting up camp and eating and cleaning up and getting in bed. And make more use of my headlamp. So anyway, things are going great so far. Making great progress. If I can do 2.5 miles an hour, of course this is easy terrain, but that's just awesome. A 20-mile day will be no problem here and there. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. So here's something kind of strange. Right next to the AT, there are these, slabs of rock. Little gravestones, I guess, grave markers. And you can't see any indication of who's buried there. But these must be low family members. Oh, here's a little sign. Rosalie Phillips. Wow, 2016. Well, this one does have some scratchings on it. You can kind of sort of make out a little bit. You can see the word low there. But it's a very strange spot or cemetery. Family cemetery. Just a few, little stone. Painted stone. A few little slabs of rock. I'm guessing people are buried here somewhere underneath. That's very strange. And here's the trail. It's right there. Right? A few steps off the trail. Hey, so I'm here at the Paul C. Wolf shelter. It's the first shelter going southbound from Rockfish Gap. And I thought I'd talk a little bit while I get my snacks ready. I'm going to have a bagel with some nut butter, high protein nut butter no less, and a couple of cheese sticks because these are going to get nasty. This one's already kind of getting mushy and and I'm going to finish my energy drink. So while I'm doing that, I'll talk a little bit. So I didn't shoot really any footage when I was home on break, just to give you a quick rundown of the last week. So I summited Katahdin on Sunday, the 14th of August. And that day, after I got back to the ranger station, I took the shuttle to the AT Lodge in Millinocket. Stayed there for the night. The next day, got the shuttle to Medway, where I got on a bus. The bus stops at a gas station, essentially, and you buy your ticket inside the gas station. Small town. What are you gonna do? So you get the bus from there to Bangor, Maine, and that stops at the bus station. And then from there, it's a 1 mile walk or taxi, I guess, to the airport. And so tech support and I got off the bus and crossed where I had to stay to get a bus to Boston. The bus that he wanted to take, the 11 o'clock bus, I think it was, that was full by the time he got there. So he had to wait till like 2:30. He had to kill 3.5 hours, I think. So anyway, tech support and I walked a mile to the airport, got our rental car, drove, I did all the driving, drove 3 hours to Gorham, New Hampshire, which is where tech support left his car. We had lunch at Subway together, then he went and got his car and I went on to Albany. I drove another 4.5 hours to the Albany airport, where my wife met me, so I could drop off the rental car. Then she drove back to Rochester from Albany, which is about a 3.25 hour drive. So it was a long day. We didn't get home till about 1 in the morning. So that was a very long day, taking a van to Medway, then taking a bus to Bangor, then getting a rental car, driving to Gorham, then driving to Albany, then having my wife drive me home to Rochester from Albany. And then while I was home, so all day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday we left, went to Stanton, Virginia, about 10 miles west of Waynesboro. There was just better deals on hotels there. So we went, and that's actually a cool little town. I like Stanton. So we went to Stanton, That's about a 7.5, 8-hour drive. It was like 9-hour day because of the stops we made. So we didn't get there till like 8 o'clock at night. We went out. We picked up some dinner on Sunday night. Monday we just killed time at the hotel. In the morning we had breakfast. Then we went back to our room and just killed a couple hours watching TV. I edited videos. 11 o'clock, the Durston X-Mid 2 Pro tent went on sale. And I've been wanting one of those, and so I went down to the business center, logged into the computer, and I managed to get one. It was a little tough. The website was struggling with the demand, I guess. But I managed to get one, so I'm excited about that. That ships out next week. I should have it probably, because it's got to get to my house, and then my wife has to mail it to me on the trail. And then I have to mail the tarp tent home again. So I'll probably have it the first or second week of September. So I'll have it on trail for 6 or 7 weeks at least, so I can try it out and let you know my thoughts on it. And then after that, we grabbed some lunch, and then we went to the Camera Heritage Museum in Stanton, which was interesting. That was a very interesting place. A lot of cool history of cameras and photography. And then we went to a brewery, went to a winery, went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and went back to the hotel room and had a bottle of wine and just relaxed. And then this morning we had breakfast, and I ate as much as I could. And then we left, and my wife dropped me off, and I hit the trail about 9:30. And here I am. It's 2 hours later. It's 11:30. This is about 4.7 miles into my hike, so pretty good time, but 2.3, 2.4 miles an hour, and not really having to work too hard. The trail's been very easy so far. I've been liking it overall, pretty nice. But it's the green tunnel experience where it's just, the trees and bushes are very close to you, and you're just surrounded by green. You're like going through that green tunnel. So I don't know where I'm going to stay. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to sign the register. I'm going to go through my AWOL guide, figure out where's a couple good spots to stay depending on how far I get today, and I'll have a backup plan in case my first choice doesn't work out. And I'll also let my wife know where I want her to send my next resupply box and my bounce box. So I got those in the works right now. So anyway, that's what's happened. Nothing exciting at home. I treated my gear. I washed everything, washed all my clothes. I retreated my clothes with permethrin. I repaired some gear. I cleaned. I didn't clean my sleeping bag or my sleeping pad or my puffy jacket. I just figured, I've got 9 or 10 more weeks. I'll clean all that stuff when this trip is completely over, and they're relatively clean. I don't wear them around the camp or anything like that. Like my sleeping quilt, I don't wrap it around me and walk around in it. But I cleaned the tent. I dried out the tent real good and cleaned it out. I wanted to make some modifications to it. I just didn't get to it. It was a lot to do. I had to do some resupply shopping, and I had some errands to run. I had to go to REI to return something, and I had to run a few errands in town, and I had stuff to do at home. I had a lot of mail to go through. I had to go through all my mail. I had to catch up on stuff, anything that needed replies, catch up on my emails, relax with my wife and dog, and so nothing too exciting. I didn't want to show you a bunch of footage of me. Hey, here I am, washing my clothes. Here I am packing up my backpack. Here I am shopping for food. I might do that from the trail. So while I'm thinking of it, I'm hoping that my videos from here to Georgia, I'll be able to go into some more detail about what I do at the shelters, at the campsites. I haven't been able to do that very, very well because it's been so arduous, the hiking, and I've just been so exhausted at the end of the day and so sore, and all I can do is think about setting up my tent or getting a spot in the shelter, heating up my water, filtering water, heating it up, cooking dinner, eating dinner, cleaning up, and getting in bed. That, rather than, here's me cooking a meal. It's just like, and plus there's people around. There was a lot of people always at the campsite. I'm here by myself right now at this shelter. I expect to be at some of the shelters and campsites by myself, but who knows, I might be surprised. There might be more people than I expect. But I think it's going to be a much more solitary experience. I'm hoping the hiking will be easier. I'll be able to make more miles per day, and I'll have more time at the end of the day to share some of my day-to-day activities with you rather than just talk about them on the trail. I can actually show you. Oh, and I have a new water filtration approach that I'm using, so I'll share that with you when I get started on it. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's what I hope to do, is to show you a little bit more of me, setting up the tent. Here's me cooking. Here's how the stove works. Here's various things that I do, at the end of the day or in the morning, and here's why I do it, and here's how I do it, and the order in which I do it. And that'll be a good reference for my wife as well if she does a through hike next year. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to eat now. Okay. So I'm just leaving the Paul C. Wolf shelter, where, as you saw, I had a snack. I spent almost an hour and a half there, though. But I wasn't just killing time. I was actually being productive. So I shot that video that you saw. I had my snacks that you saw. I filtered a liter of water, and I made the rookie mistake of putting my filter on backwards because it's my first time using that filter. I've never used the Sawyer Squeeze filter before. And it's not prominent which way to put it. You need to really color code it so you can see at a glance whether or not you have it connected correctly. But I only filtered a few ounces of water, and I was like, uh-oh. I detached it and flipped it around and did it the right way. So there wasn't anything to backflush in the filter. It had never been used before, so but still not. Ooh, there's a spider right in the middle of the trail. I'm gonna have to break his web. Well, I'll shoot some video of that. But so I was spending time going through the AWOL guide and deciding where my next resupply and bounce boxes need to go. So my next resupply box I'm gonna have my wife send to Stanimals in Glasgow, Virginia, which is, I don't know, like 80, 90 miles from here. And then my bounce box will go to Angel's Rest Hiker Haven in Parisburg, Virginia, which is like 200 and something miles, 230 miles, I think. So anyway, I don't know how far I'm going today. I'm not going to make it to the next shelter, I don't think, at this point. It's 12.5 miles. Even if I could maintain 2.5 mile an hour pace, that's 5 hours. I wouldn't get there till 6, and that's with no breaks. And that's at 2.5 miles an hour, and I have to go over Humpback Mountain, so probably a little aggressive to plan that. Plus the water source there isn't very reliable. So there's two tent sites before then. When I get to there's a spring, I think it's called Laurel Spring, in 9.2 miles. When I get there, I'll probably fill up with water, depending on what time it is, and then go at least to the next tent site. And the tent site after that is like another 1.5 miles, 2 miles. I'll decide which tent site I'm going to stop at when I get to that spring. But yeah, so that's my plan right now, and I'm going to take a video of this little spider here right across the trail. I'm going to have to break his web. I feel bad about it. Maybe I'll go around somehow. Spider right there. You can see it's blurry. Let's see if I can focus on him. Camera doesn't want to focus on the spider. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's kind of coming in and out of focus. That's him eating a fly or something. There it is, in focus. Kind of cool, but his web, probably can't even see the web. It's straddling the trail, so let's see if I can focus on him one more time here. Yeah, so I gotta go around this guy. You're looking at my goiter, aren't you? No, I'm not looking at your goiter. Yes, you are. I can see you're looking at my goiter. No, I was looking over there, that tree. Wasn't looking at, I didn't even notice you. Oh, is that what that is? You were looking at it, weren't you? Okay, yes, I was looking at your goiter. I knew it. Hi, baby. Hey, beautiful. Hi, baby. Hi there. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Hi, beautiful. Hi. I'm not gonna hurt you. Yeah, I don't blame you. So the trail has gotten very rocky. Didn't start out this way. It's been rocky for a while. Climbing up Humpback Mountain and climbing back down again. It's been a lot of rocks. So my feet are taking a beating. My feet are exhausted. My knees are starting to feel it. They've been feeling it for a while. They're complaining. My hips and my shoulders because my backpack is so heavy. The weight is sliding down off my hips. But yeah, this is slowing me down. And it's really beating up my legs. I'm gonna need to get a good night's sleep tonight. Really rest. I may need to take some vitamin I tomorrow or even tonight just to get to sleep because I can tell I'm gonna be really sore. My feet, legs haven't had a chance to fully heal. I was off trail for 8 days. And now here I am back on trail and I'm subjecting them to this hard rocky surface again. So yeah, I'm really feeling it. I feel like an old man. Oh gosh, it's not been fun. Started out great. The trail was great to start with, but this is not welcome. I'm just leaving Laurel Spring, and I look like I'm in pain because I am, because I'm carrying 3.5 liters of water, which is like 7 3/4 pounds of water or something like that. Maybe closer to 8. I don't know. Any event, yeah, it's heavy. That's how much water I need because there's no water at the campsite I'm going to stay at. Luckily, that campsite's less than a mile. A little bit uphill here. So I got to carry my water in. And I did a calculation that I need at least 3 to 3.5 liters in order to have at least a liter left over in the morning to take with me on the trail. Because I'll use between 2 and 2.5 liters between cooking tonight, brushing my teeth, cleaning up, drinking, and then drinking in the morning and brushing my teeth in the morning. So I got 3.5 liters of water. So my pack's got to be in the high 30s right now, 37, 38, something like that, I'm guessing. So I'm pushing my pack to the limit. I'm pushing myself to the limit. I've done 14 miles today. I didn't think that was possible because I had, Jesus, I keep hearing branches snap. I didn't think 14 would be possible because I started at 9:30 and I'm just getting back on the trail. And I had to go up and over Humpback Mountain, but there was enough easy trail that I guess I made up time. But I've been going real slow over some of this rocky stuff, just beating up my feet, my legs. I'm in pain. Every step hurts. Right now my hips are killing me with this extra weight on my back. So I gotta get to camp, drop this pack, set up my tent, cook dinner, get in bed. I need a good night's sleep. I'm gonna have to take vitamin I before bed so I can get some sleep. Otherwise I'll be tossing and turning and uncomfortable. My hips will be sore. I won't be able to find a good position to sleep in. So anyway, that's what's going on. It's a little after 6. I should be able to get to the tent site. I'm going a little slow because of this extra weight. So probably about 6:45. That'll give me about an hour and a half of usable daylight to do everything I need to do before I have to, use my headlamp or, hopefully be done by then and get in bed. So we'll see how that goes.